Well, as is always the case whenever I'm looking to the media for some kind of coverage, you know that up until recently, basically nobody in media or in the Democratic Party was talking about the Memorandum 7, the one that I talked about, the one that like fundamentally alters the relationship between the, yeah, nobody was talking about it. A bunch of people didn't even know what it was. NSPM, thank you. NSPM 7. The Hitler Memorandum, exactly. Yeah, Ken Klippenstein was the one guy. Got a shout out from Ro Khanna recently. Well, speaking of the media not talking about the stuff that I want them to talk about, look at this. Kash Patel pride flag. I see one from Times Now. Okay. Times of India, India Today, Mirror Now, Times of India, The Hill, unrelated, and then more unrelated crap. Nobody? Really? Okay. It's pretty crazy. You know, it's pretty insane, in my opinion. Whatever. Kash Patel fired an FBI agent for being gay. Just yesterday, or on the first, either yesterday or 2 days ago. Very straightforwardly, you know? It's pretty crazy. Normally there's like a lot more abstraction here. Not even being gay, just displaying the flag. So you might think, okay, so he didn't get fired for being gay. He got fired for having a pride flag at his desk. Well, let's read a little bit further. FBI Director Kash Patel on Wednesday fired an agent in training for displaying a gay pride flag on his desk while appointed to a field office in California last year. Oh, so at no point in the Biden administration was there ever any FBI policy, to my knowledge, preventing their agents from having a pride flag on display on their desk. No point. That was not a problem. Now, if there was some kind of agency rule against it, I mean, I think that would be bad, but at least that would be an on-the-book rule. It is not an on-the-book rule, and it certainly wasn't back under Biden's term. This is essentially just firing somebody for being gay. That's definitely a lawsuit for discrimination. Oh, yeah. Oh, and I hope he takes them to the fucking cleaners. 100%. That is insane. How to even find that out? I'll tell you how he found that out, you know? Because Kash Patel wasn't working at the FBI last year. I bet you there's a homophobic FBI agent who's worked with this agent in training who wanted to get rid of him and reported this to Kash or the higher-ups, and they just rather than do what any sane person would do in this situation, any sane homophobe, and fire them for a made-up reason. You can fire somebody and say like, oh yeah, they were incompetent. Oh, they didn't, gel with the workplace vibe. I didn't like the cut of their jib. That's what you always do when you fire people for bigoted reasons, you know? Why would you say it was because they displayed the pride flag a year ago? That's insane. The letter cited President Donald Trump's Article 2 powers under the Constitution to dismiss federal agency career personnel, a justification used in several recent firings at the DOJ and FBI. The terminations are currently being challenged in several lawsuits. Yes, of course, because these are illegal firings. After reviewing the facts and circumstances and considering your probationary status, I have determined you exercised poor judgment with an inappropriate display of political signage in your work area during your previous assignment in the Los Angeles field office. Just flatly saying it. Unbelievable. I know that there weren't that many, but I know there are some WeHo gays out there. The LGB drop the T types, the pick-me white gays with a boyfriend who looks identical to them, who, aren't like those degenerate trans queers or whatever. They're coming for all of you. Not me, though. I'm straight. You are being summarily dismissed from your position as a new agent trainee at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, and removed from federal service. The FBI did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the story. MSNBC was unable to reach the fired trainee for comment and therefore is not identifying him. Termination of the pride flag was first reported by CNN. This is, I don't know, does no one else feel like this is a kind of like turning point a little bit? Normally there's an abstraction here. Like for the most part, the Republicans are still careful to not openly say, we're firing you for X reason. Like even ideological reasons are less partial than this. This is just very flatly like you're gone because you're gay. It's also a message to the public. Well, no, the letter was obtained by MSNBC, but it was not publicly sent. So I don't know if this was intended as a public statement. I don't think that it was. I think, this is just my guess here, I think Kash Patel might just be an idiot and a homophobe, and wanted to get rid of somebody who he suspected was like not in line with the MAGA agenda. But because he's stupid, he just said that, like, he would have opened himself up to less liability if he had said, we're firing you because your vision for the future doesn't align with the president's agenda. That would be like less actionable than this. Man, it's so grim. When Trump was weeks away from inauguration in January, FBI agents and Justice Department prosecutors were warning one another to be careful about displaying information revealing their own sexual orientation or support for LGBT rights. After the inauguration, one person said, FBI agents warned colleagues that they heard new pro-Trump appointees installed at the FBI were combing through internal employee files to find lists of employees who identified as LGBTQ. I mean, we knew this. I talked about it back when it was happening. All those Doge they put in power immediately started combing through everyone, you know, all dissenters. Pardon me, keeping my forehead moisturized, very important, as I furrow my brow ever more with the worsening news. I hope this fired unnamed FBI agent in training sues the shit out of the department and Kash Patel. I know, obviously, that, like, in this era, especially when it comes to challenging the federal government, there's no guarantee of a satisfying reward at the end of it. You're basically just guaranteeing you don't have a career with them in the future. But, yeah, pretty grim. You see the commemorative coins Patel's handing out in the office? Yeah, I saw it. Pretty minimal, right? I feel like they really could have gone the extra mile here. They're so insecure, dude. They're so insecure. It's crazy. We're living in a country that is run by a government full of people who unironically believe that lifting your pickup truck makes you look cool, or like taking the muffler off your car or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's the whole political party, to be honest with you. Is it just me, or does it have mega Nazi vibes? Oh no, it's just you. I don't know how you could possibly come to that conclusion. It's so sad my dad thinks this is cool. I'm telling you, man, fascism, it's all rooted in like psychosexual bigotry. It's all rooted in like insecurity. I have never met or talked to a fascist who was not burdened by those insecurities, or at the very least, not looking to profit off of them. A lot of fascists are just looking to get their grift, but they're indistinguishable to history, you know? I know a lot of people are really cynical about the country right now, but this is something that I keep pointing out, and I want everyone to believe it, okay? The Republicans are incredibly incompetent. They will not hold power forever. There need to be people to inherit the future. We have a good candidate to do so. Her name is actually Aftyn Behn. Batman name right there. Jesus Christ. There are Mamdanis everywhere for those with the eyes to see. She's talked directly with PV. She's very thankful for the help. Just saying, she's doing well. She's leading in the primary race right now. Tennessee 7, not exactly a robust Democratic stronghold. If she wins the primary, she'll be up against a Republican who is more likely than her to win. However, one of the biggest myths that we really need to break is the idea that the way to win in red states and red districts is by running moderates. I've never believed that's how it works. You know, you need to run people who are distinct from the Democratic Party. Well, folks, don't you want to participate in what might potentially be the flipping of a red district blue, not only for a Democrat, but for a progressive Democrat that beats out the establishment candidates in the primary? I'm just saying, just sign up with PV, you know? She wants universal free school meals. I remember that. She's a Medicare for All fan. If we flip a House seat in a special election, nobody will have seen that coming. It would be nice not only because it would signal momentum before the midterms, but it would also be nice because it would signal that progressives are the people who need to be running in these districts, not moderate Democrats.